let's talk about the most famous film from this year, the sleepiest film from this year, The Big
Is it
Sleep.
I wouldn't even say it's the most famous film from this year. I
No,
think we
it
got some
is.
real bangers this year. You think
Oh,
The Big Sleep is the most famous we're talking about? I don't think so.
you know what?
It's up there
You're
though.
right. You're right. This isn't
But
the a Big Daddy. This is not. Uh,
but it has big in the title, so let's start
yeah,
there.
The
The
Big
Big Sleep.
Sleepy. The Big Sleepy.
Yeah.
We're getting our podcast legs back. I feel like this is a little.
Yeah. It's a little chaotic, but we're here. We're
So,
doing it.
first moments of The Big Sleep is an incredibly stylish opening credits sequence where
Mm.
they are where Bogey and Bacall are in silhouette lighting each other's cigarettes, and the titles are in front of them, and you're just kind of looking at these sexy silhouettes. And then I think really in a really cool way, like a hand kind of reaches out of the darkness and puts the cigarette onto the
Ah.
ashtray. It's just a very stylish opening. It's a classic noir. What can I say? But it is an incredibly classic one of the kind of totemic
Yeah.
noir films.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's like one of the ones that is the most like, oh, anytime people are like riffing on film noir as a genre, they're taking like most of it from this movie. Or
Including
a lot
like
of it. It's
being
one of the big ones for
yeah,
sure.
including being incredibly convoluted and confusing.
This one especially is like famously convoluted, which I don't know if we want to go right into some behind the scenes stories on it that
We try and do synopses when we can remember and all that, but like there's no way with this one.
yeah, a bunch of stuff happens to the synopsis of this movie. I mean, this movie is so famously convoluted that Howard Hawks, the director, asked Raymond Chandler, who wrote the book this is based on, like, who murdered this one character who's sort of like kind of incidental and like we never really find out what happened to them. And Raymond Chandler was like, I don't know, I forgot. Like he didn't know. So it's like even the writer of the story was just like, I don't know. Who cares?
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I think that really kind of speaks to like what's going on with these things a bit, is that it's about like I don't know. I feel like a lot of mystery movies and spy movies, they're about the experience of solving mysteries and spycraft,
Mm,
less than like the actual moment to moment plot, you know? Can I tell
right.
you what happens in a Mission Impossible movie? I
Never.
cannot.
Not one.
But am I enjoying the vibe? Yes, I am, you know? And I think that that's the case with a movie like this.
Although put a pin in that because we might be talking about Mission Impossible later on in this episode. I
Oh,
won't say why.
okay.
Yeah, another big Bogey Bacall movie.
Yeah, including reshoots to make it more of a Bogey and Bacall movie.
Right. Yeah.
This one, oh, I was gonna mention with the opening scene, or not the opening scene, but the opening titles where they're smoking cigarettes, and it's Bogart and Bacall. You know how to smoke, don't you? You just put your lips around it and suck.
Oh, if only that was real dialogue in this movie. Wouldn't surprise me if it was, but yeah.
That one's a little too far, I think.
I think this movie is also had you seen this movie before?
No.
Were you reminded of any other movies called The Big Something?
Oh, I mean, right. I guess I heard that this is like like a kind of Big Lebowski's kind of riffing on this, right?
Yeah. Especially the beginning. I think at a certain point Big Lebowski really sort of goes off and does its own thing. But a lot
There's
of like
less
the plot,
bowling in
a
this
lot of
movie.
the true, there a lot of the plot setup of the Big Lebowski is like almost identical to this. Like there's the right, the main character gets brought to this big mansion of a mysterious wealthy benefactor
Hmm.
who has a butler and just like young women around. I guess in Lebowski, it's his trophy wife, and this it's one of his two daughters. But it's like you can clearly see the ways in which The Big Lebowski is riffing on this movie, which I think is kind of like to go back and rewatch this after having seen Lebowski. Also, it is like it's kind of like I'm getting a lot of Big Lebowski vibes from this. And it's like, well, sure,
Interesting.
guy who's only ever seen one movie.
I I
Um,
uh have seen The Big Lebowski a couple times. That's never super connected with me, and I can't say that I remember too much of the plot. But I am interested in
I mean,
seeing it
also
again.
insanely convoluted and, like,
Yeah,
hard to follow, so
yeah.
that's another way it's really riffing on this.
I really can't tell you much of what happened in this movie.
Well, there's I mean, if I just watched it, I could probably tell you, but, like, even looking back at my notes, I'm like, "Yeah, what is the plot?"
I did just watch this, and it's like, okay, he's hired to uh investigate some kind of guy related to the family who disappeared, and then like the daughters are sort of involved in some of the stuff, and one of them's really messy and the other one's like trying to uh like not reveal all of these things, and there's all of this like stuff with a gambling guy who it's kind of wrapped all in and everything. It's yeah, lots of
It's like he's hired to uncover, like, a blackmailing scheme, which
yes,
then leads to multiple murders and other crimes, so then it's like the sort of the tangled web he gets sort of sucked into.
just like Frodo.
Right. And also Lauren Bacall is there, so he's like, "Well, I can't leave now. Lauren Bacall is here."
My favorite lady, Lauren Bacall.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's not just. I was kind of surprised because they're top billing, Bogart and Bacall, and like they get
Mhm.
you know the kind of relationship between the two of them develops a lot in this movie, but it's kind of ridiculous how like every single lady that he meets is just like, I want you so bad right now.
It becomes like a running joke. Like the first couple times it just feels really like silly and maybe a little bit like, "All right, 1940s, we get it." But like the fact that it's like pretty much every side character in this movie is played by like a young attractive woman.
who
Like
wants who
every
wants Humphrey
every
Bogart? Yeah.
like every bookstore owner, every taxi driver, every like literally like everyone that this detective runs into. Philip Marlowe is his
Kind of
name.
a kind
And
of a proto Bond sort of situation in that way.
I guess yeah, kind of. It feels more overtly comedic in this. It feels a little bit less. I guess it is in a lot of Bond movies too, but like
Do you think that
there's
it's a
something that
joke in
is
this? Or
I
it's like a fantasy?
I mean both, much like Bond movies are, but I think I definitely get the sense that there is a sort of cheekiness to it and that it is sort of like yeah, I don't know. It feels deliberately comedic to me. The
Hmm.
fact that it's like everyone he runs into is like, "Why, hello." And it also leads to a lot of great this is another great sort of like movie that is undermining the Hays Code at every opportunity.
Mhm.
And just has lots of make eyes and lots of like innuendos in the dialogue and such. I think the scene at the bookstore is sort of
Yeah.
often cited as like one of the many like Hays Code scenes that is like, steaming up the screen
Yeah.
because of how horny it is.
She's just like, you're a private eye, you said? I am shutting down the store right now, and we're going to the back room and having a cocktail."
Yeah, and then also the fact that it's like, ooh, it started raining outside. It's getting they don't say this, but it's like it's getting real wet outside.
Ah, I see. I
Maybe
see.
I'm taking it too far. I don't know. Maybe I'm just my mind is in the gutter, but this movie invites the mind to be in the gutter is what I'm saying. There is a bit of so I've also read the book this is based on,
Oh.
which is right, similarly insanely convoluted. The book definitely has some stuff that is cut out for like to meet Hays Code standards. Like there's more references if I'm recalling correctly, there's a lot more references to like drug use in the book and also so when one of the daughters is found at the house where there's a dead body in the movie she's in she's like having pictures being taken of her in like a sort of vaguely Chinese dress which I feel like 1940s uses like Chinese as kind of a weird racist shorthand for like vice criminals
Huh.
kind of stuff. In the book I think she's naked and it's like much more it's like she's been drugged in kind of a more overt way.
Yeah, I mean, like,
And
in the movie, he says, like, she's high as a kite, which,
right,
it's, I was surprised at referencing, being high, right, in this movie.
Right.
Like, it's clear that she is drugged or on drugs rather than drunk. But
Mm.
and he refers to her as high, which I have not seen that kind of reference before, I guess. Like, the only other time I've seen, like, previously that we've seen the term high is in High and Dizzy, referring to being drunk, for
Right.
in the
And
Harold
also
Lloyd
being on
picture.
up
Being
a
on a
tall
high up
building.
building, yes, it's a pun. Yeah.
I don't know if I have any greater points about the book, but it's good. I recommend it. It's got a lot of great hard-boiled dialogue, as does this movie.
Hmm.
It's got a lot of great sort of Howard Hawksian banter
Yeah.
flying back and forth.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
It is very dialogue heavy, and it is a movie that I think the big appeal is like the dialogue and the performances. Like it's a very talky movie, but it's great talking. It's like primo talking in this thing.
That's the thing. It's like, I think that the plot is so much that what this movie is good at is being a vibe, right? And it
Mm,
captures that kind of
absolutely.
iconic noir vibe very well. And so in some ways it, like, doesn't really feel like you really need to pay a lot of attention, because you can just, like, observe whatever scene is happening in front of you and just enjoy the experience of it.
Yeah, yeah. It is definitely uh, a vibe movie in that like don't worry about it. Not to steal a terminology from Patrick Willems. The idea of like a movie that is like the plot is secondary to just sort of the atmosphere and the kind of we're seeing characters kind of going about their process, and that is what is interesting.
Mm. It is a documents movie as well. It's like, to the library.
True, it is also a documents movie. A lot of my notes are just dialogue. So there's a scene of Bogey and Bacall at a bar flirting it up, and they're doing a lot of like horse racing metaphor.
Oh yeah,
They're
yeah.
like talking about horse racing, but like they're talking about horse racing in like the horniest way possible. Which sort of to me is establishing this idea that like, oh, in the 1940s, horse racing was like a very sexy thing. It was very like cool and hot to be like go
I
to
don't
a
know.
horse
I mean,
race.
maybe or maybe it just
But
this movie is doing that.